Okay, I think I'll make a rather long video on how I made my stuff. So we'll start over here. Now the table chandeliers here was two wall lights put together on a stand. So you have one wall light there, one wall light there, joined together and placed on this stand. I'll just switch them on. There you go. I use Strass glass, and there's another one. Can't really see the quality of it, but it's good quality crystal. And this, an eagle on top of a handle, on top of a base that I made. Now this part there was some sort of overmantel, and I put it together to give it like a pierced look. But from this, I made this using plaster casts. As you can see, it's the same sort of thing, an eagle and everything as that. And these parts here, this is wood, so that's all plaster. Now this one here, wall light arms, you can see the wall light there, bits and pieces of plaster and plastic, cherubs and stuff. And over here on this one, you will see one of those brass dishes that usually hang on walls. And I just stuck it on top of this frame, bits and pieces here. And this canopy, again, bits and pieces of curtain tiebacks, and a crown up there. A frame with bits and pieces of plaster and beads stuck on there. Bits stuck on there. Now this is a wooden frame with lots of brass pieces. So that would be a corner fire fender, Victorian fire fender. And these would just be furniture mounts. Okay, you can see all throughout the one small section there. And I just stuck them all on. And again on this one, same sort of thing. And you can actually see a handle there. So the handle would go, like that. And a wall light, bits and pieces of furniture mounts, all brass. So that's this room. Over here, I like scary things, scary horror films. So a couple there. And this one, this is something I made quite a long time ago, the drawing. And all this here, this is wind chimes and trophies. These are trophies. That was actually on one of my bikes for a long time. And beads, more wind chimes, but it has a good effect. You see that? See the effect? Makes the frame look grand. So let's go into another room. This is a Baroque room. And let's start with the main piece. Again, you remember that piece above the fireplace in the other room, made of wood? So I took cast from that and I made this. The same sort of cast as the door as well in the other room. And here you can see this is plastic cherub, and these are parts from an overmantel mirror. And from that I made this candelabra, a pair of them. There's the other one there. Again, plastic cherub. And you can see this is all plaster. Now coming back down to the clock, as you can see again, plastic cherubs. Cherubs is used very much in the Baroque style, and more plastic ornamentation. There's a wall light at the back there, and there's another wall light there, just to give it some sort of body. The actual clock I bought from Amazon for £10. Again, plastic cherubs, and a glass chandelier pendant to finish that off. And there's me on my bike. one of the bikes. I've got two huge bikes, all Baroque. The candelabra, let's just switch it on. So I'll just switch it on a minute. Come on. There we go. Yeah, right. So, I made that from bits and pieces. Back in the 80s, I collected lots of broken chandeliers in boxes. And it's like a pick and mix. So this wouldn't originally be a table chandelier, it would be a ceiling chandelier. And that would be usually part of a stem, the ceiling stem. And I just made that. I also made this one. So you've got a standard lamp here. And that would be parts from a ceiling chandelier. This one, these are just plaques which I stuck together on a board to give it some sort of like a royal effect. Bunged it in a frame. Now this double bed I made from, if you look there, you'll see it's a leg. It's a leg. There's two legs there. There's one leg there and another leg there. So that made the frieze. Again, plastic cherubs. Usually you get these at Christmas time. Trophies with the old ostrich feathers and lots of tassels here. This large one will be from a balustrade tassel thing. Now the door. These parts will be from an antique furniture and a cabinet. And this part here will be from a headboard. This is modern part, this is a modern part, so that will be that reversed together to make a spire. And again, wood carvings you can get on these you can get on Amazon for about a few pounds each. Vintage doorknob. And this one here is, well, this would be originally a table floor stand lamp, which I turned into just as a stand. Ostrich feathers. Again, now this one, so you'd have two ceiling lights. This would be a ceiling light which would be upside down, a three-pronged one. Another three-pronged one here you can see will be upside down for a ceiling light. So I inverted them and I made this large floor lamp. This one here, made from trophy mascots and parts of material which you can use for costumes. And again, that's an upside down trophy thing. Table I made from bits and pieces of brass where I collected back in the 80s. So that's a chair, table leg. That would be from a fire. This is funny. This used to be those oil lamps that you can get in the 80s, and oil would drip down. I didn't fill it with oil. And this one here, I stuck two bits and pieces together to make this, and again you've got like wind chimes here, which gives it a nice effect. And the same with that one there. That's a wall light there. And that's a ceiling light there. Stuck them together. And you've got a candelabra. These are just showing you another video I made today. These are just garden things. A couple of pictures I made. And now the lions here, these would be from a table or some sort of furniture. And I made fire dogs from them. Bits and pieces stuck on the fireplace. These are actually plastic, but they look good. Now this one here, again, bits and pieces of chandeliers. So let's go into another room. Right, so this is the throne room, and we'll start with the chandelier, which I also made. And you can see this is a massive chandelier. And this is the largest arm you can get, because any larger than that, and the glass arm would snap. So I put this from a pick and mix of various chandeliers I bought back in the 80s. I mean, there must be about 10 boxes. I used to go to antique shops and say, do you have any broken chandeliers? And there in the corner there'd be one for £5. So this is all pick and mix chandelier stuff. Now the throne I made from plaster. And if you look at the quality, just look at that quality. It's all three-dimensional, which you don't find at all on furniture. So each of these leaves are all plaster. And the way I did it, so if you look at a leaf, let's say that one there, you see that there? How do I do it? Well, you see this buffet, I put plasticine on that leaf, took the plasticine off, bended the plasticine to give a three-dimensional effect, and there you have it. Certain leaves. And again, this large thing here, so if you look at the buffet, put plasticine on one of these, bend the plasticine, fill it with plaster of Paris, and use that many times to make that. Now here you can see again these eagles and these squirrels, which are made from plaster cast from that really old Victorian, well, it must be probably older than the Victorian one, but the very old overmantel I showed you in the very first room. Now you can see lots of all around there, all the work. It took me a couple of years to make this. It took me half a year to gild the thing. I used over 1,000 sheets of gold leaf. Now let's move across to here. This is a candlestick with a skull placed on. Bits and pieces here. That's something I made back in the 80s. Pick and mix chandelier. So this wouldn't originally be a table chandelier. It would be a ceiling light. Again, from the pick and mix boxes which I bought. And so with this. This would be various ceiling lights which I've made into a table chandelier and stuck onto a garden plinth. This I did not make. It's a very valuable antique, and the frame is carved wood, and these are actually marble insets. They're all Italian marble. So carved wood with Italian marble insets everywhere. Very rare. You don't find marble in a Florentine frame like this. This is a picture, a painting of a saint, and I like ostrich feathers. This is another antique frame, huge frame. So if you compare it to the door, you can see how big the frame is. These are just Prince posters. Now the door I made from Christmas cherubs. Very classical, very baroque. And this squirrel here will be from a headboard. So if you can imagine it on its side. Brass pieces from furniture. And this bit here is from a bookcase. The eyes on that would light up. There's bulbs in there. And more plastic pieces. And wooden pieces. Now the door section I made from furniture bits and finger plates, and this is red paper backing. This mirror, I bought the frame, it came with the glass. I could never find a painting to put in there. It just had glass, so I painted the glass black, and it gave this black mirror effect. And I stuck, you can see yourself in hell to get sort of like a creepy look. That's just a hologram. More feathers there. The buffet, ostrich feathers. Now this table I made back in 1980s, early 80s. When I was about 13, 14 years old. And again it's plaster. And the top is sections from plastic laminate which I've cut up into squares, well, near squares. Candlestick, I bunged all these bits and pieces on there. Yeah, I did that at art school. See, that's Goya, and I put Goya's soya meat as a sort of joke. That's original. That would be a Goya painting that Francisco Goya painted. This is a woodcut. So if I did that, you can see it's carved into a lino. And I just made a nice frame for it from trophy muskets and parts from a belt. Some antique paintings there. Yeah, I think that's about it.